Hello, welcome to the new video. Today we're going to take a look at the new XL Typhlosion in the Master League Premier Cup with the new move Thunder Punch. And this actually might help this Pokemon out quite a bit in this meta, because if you know, one of the most common Pokemon for this meta is going to be that Gyarados, which was unintentionally here actually in the beginning. Like, I did not change the battles or anything like this in terms of the order. So like there is no change towards that, but that's kind of hilarious that we faced immediately. And yes, we can bait out Gyarados while still punishing it. And this is the main bread and butter of Typhlosion in the Master League Premier Cup. The stats itself, yeah, not really great. I mean, like, it's the same stats as Charizard, like literally the exact same stats as Charizard. So if Charizard is not really that great in this meta, this Pokemon most likely is a little bit better. Like, honestly, it actually worked out quite well. Like, you're gonna see here quite a lot of wins today because this team actually was really, really good. Like, first time I built with this team as well, I think I got like a 4-1 and only had one very unfortunate loss, but you're gonna see that anyway here. We want to be able to go ahead and go for the disarming voice against the opponent's Excalibur. Also kind of crazy that they have one built already, and we're just not gonna bait around. We're just gonna go straight for that Shadow Ball and say goodbye to the Golden Go, winning us this battle. Next opponent, Goodra against the Dragonite. That's one of the biggest issues for this team, by the way. It's kind of Dragonite, or yeah, any like those Dragon type Pokemon that Goodra cannot beat straight away. Goodra still has a fairly solid matchup here, and also Goodra for sure is the #1 spot for this meta. It is just so neutral. Like, it's not really overpowered. I would not say that Goodra is overpowered by any means, but by the way, again, here we're going to be baiting out the opponent's Gyarados, and we can go for that nice Thunder Punch, and we can even reach another one if they don't go for a charge move, which they don't, and so we can get a shield here, which is quite lovely. But yeah, Goodra not overpowered in general, but Goodra is quite neutral against everything. Like, there's no Pokemon that really hardwalls it, other of course than Fairy type Pokemon, but it has just play against any kind of neutral scenario, which is quite mad, and so it's a very good Pokemon to run right now. And this team as well actually works out really, really well, which is kind of hilarious. Anyway, let's take a look at a Skeletor sweep, hopefully. Let's see what they're going to have in the back. We're not going to see straight away, as we're going to be forced to use a shield onto that Dragon Claw that is swooping in here. We can go for a disarming voice, knock out that Dragonite, and no matter what they're going to go back into next, it's going to be locked in here for a little bit, and it is going to be the Metagross. This is going to be quite nice. We have super effective coverage, super effective fast move pressure, and look at the damage output of that Skeletor, winning us this battle single-handedly, which is kinda mad. Next opponent, we're gonna have another Dragonite in the lead and hopefully another Steel type in the back, because that would be great for our team. They decided to go straight for the Aqua Tail here. This was actually the first time that I encountered Dragonite. Like, battles are not in order, just randomized. So like, yeah, I usually would not go for Aqua Tail anymore afterwards, but here they actually decided to use a shield anyway, so that's kind of fine. I tried to catch a move here onto my Typhlosion. I wanted to sneak in a fast move, but it didn't work out. But at least I can still catch it. The opponent stays in here, which is really bad, but I can still actually outspeed them in theory, but the opponent stopped out anyway, so it is what it is. We can go ahead and go for a Blast Burn, do quite some nice massive damage against that Snorlax there from the opponent. But we can just hope that the opponent is running the Super Power and Body Slam moveset, which is of course the standard one, and then also our Skeletor should be actually kind of nice against them. But I actually still go into the Goodra first, go for that Aqua Tail, and I can still reach another Aqua Tail in time, hopefully knocking out the opponent. Let's find out if this is going to work out for us. It is going to work out, and we can swap out. They have their own Skeletor, and they're going to have one fast move advantage usually, but I can actually now get the next charge move on at a CMP tile, and I have no idea where the opponent lost that one fast move. Like, I have no idea how this worked. It was definitely kind of unfair because the opponent should have not been in this scenario, but like this, we can even overfarm by a little bit more, expecting the opponent to swap out back into the Dragonite. Now there's just one thing, we have to hope they win the CMP tie. We have a 15 attack variant of this Pokemon, so we can actually win the CMP tie as well, which is kind of cool. And so we're gonna be able to knock them out, which is quite lucky though still, especially as the opponent hit a hundo there. Gengar in the lead is quite a spicy Pokemon for this meta, but I like it. I really like it. I still have to build my Gengar as well. I actually have like some hundos laying around, but I'm very likely gonna build a 98%, I think it is, or I think maybe it's even a 96% Gengar that I have from literally before the game was even released in Germany. I downloaded the game through like APK Mirror and stuff like this, which a lot of people did then, and had the game a little bit earlier. And like, I caught a wild Gengar, and that Pokemon I don't know, like it's still so kind of special to me. Like if you think about like literally just having Pokeballs, literally starting the game and you find like a wild Gengar when like the game is new, like everywhere's the hype. Honestly, still one of my favorite Pokemon. Will never give away this Pokemon, and I most likely have to build this eventually as well. Maybe even for this meta. I feel like it's such a cool Pokemon to have. Anyway, we are talking not about the battles here yet, so we should start doing that. We're going to have Annihilate against us. It's a tough spot. You have one nearly dead Pokemon and one Pokemon that is not going to outspeed the opponent, especially. They got some fast moves before already. We can go for a Blast Burn. This is gonna hopefully connect. It is not. We're gonna go for the Thunder Punch. Never mind. It was not a Blast Burn. Sorry about this. It's a bit late, you have to say. It's a bit late all the time. I don't know why a league change has to be at like 10 p.m. my time. It is just kind of annoying because now it's like midnight already. And yeah, it is what it is. We can still go for Thunder Punch, by the way. It's not a Blast Burn. It is actually just a Thunder Punch. And we can knock out the opponent here as well because Gyarados still has an Aqua Tail stored. Aqua Tail does the exact same amount of damage, I think, as a Thunder Punch. And so we're going to be able to farm them down and win this battle. This is, I think, against Homestead Henry, is it? We're going to have a shiny Garchomp. I think I don't, honestly, like it is kind of like Gengar, right? Like you don't really know. I think it is the shiny variant of it. I think it is. I think it looks like kind of more, I don't know, not as colorful as it usually is. They have Phantom here, which is kind of good for them. I can still go for another charge move. I have to get rid of the Garchomp, like there's nothing I can do about it. Like Garchomp is a big threat for my backline. Here we're gonna go into the Typhlosion and we're gonna see the backline of Snorlax as well as that Magnezone. Interesting team, definitely a solid team for sure. Like does make a lot of sense in terms of team building here. So for sure a team that is for sure kind of nice. I kind of want to make a video about the Garchomp as well, but I'm not going to do it, not only because most likely Garchomp is going to be the featured Pokemon here, but also because I really want to build my Shadow variant. I have a really good Shadow variant, but it's sadly still frustrated, so I can't take a look at it yet, but also I still have to get some TMs. Like, do you have charge TMs? Like for me, I'm at currently 0 charge TMs. I just used like 12 on Chestnut trying to get Thunder Punch, and I did not end up with Thunder Punch, but with Superpower, which is lovely. Great stuff there, but I have literally 0 charge TMs currently, which is kind of mad. So hopefully Niantic is going to change something towards this as well, because I don't know, like raids recently have not been really great as well, and the way of them distributing this is kind of mad. So hopefully charge TM is going to be a little bit more common in the future here against Homestead Henry. It's going to be a very close game. Great catch there before from them with the disarming voice, which is kind of an obvious one. Kind of was a little bit disappointed, but again, I'm a little bit tired. But here we're gonna see that they just barely win, and this was actually the one loss in the first set that I did with this team. Florges. Florges is a Pokemon that is kind of great for Typhlosion. We can take a Moonblast. They swap out into the Skeleturge, which is kind of awkward because now we're forced to go for the Blast Burn. I wonder if actually Blast Burn is going to be recommended on Skeleturge, because Skeleturge has like great coverage with that Shadow Ball. I could see that just that they're gonna get rid of Shadow Ball for it and keep like the disarming voice on it. I think this would make the most amount of sense if this Pokemon gets that move, but honestly, like I feel like there are so many kind of different ways. Also, by the way, usually like nowadays Community Day starters, like those good, like there are other signature moves as well, which we saw as well, like Spirit Shackle or whatever. And for the Skeleturge, it would be Torch Song, which is in the main series games a move that guarantees buffs your attack by 1 stage, like special attack at this point when you use it. So very likely that you're gonna see something like an Icy Wind clone, but for your own attack as a buff for this Pokemon eventually, which will most likely be even better than Blast Burn I could see. But we will see how they're gonna do it. Here we're gonna see a Moonblast coming through. We can go for a Shadow Ball. This is going to be able to knock them out. I cannot try to undercharge, which was not enough. Oh no, it is actually enough. We can still get 1 fast movement, which is kind of cool. And we will see the Skeleturge coming back in here. So as we can see, we can go for a Shadow Ball, get the knockout here as well. And in the back, it's going to be the Annihilate. And honestly, we are gonna go to town here right now. Like this Pokemon here, our Skeleturge was by far the MVP. Like Skeleturge was such a good Pokemon. Yes, Gyarados is very neutral and Gyarados is very cool, but the things that Skeleturge did for this team is quite mad. We see it here all over again. We're gonna be able to get them so insanely low. I can even use a shield here. This would allow me, okay, I could also let the move go through, but like if I would use a shield there, oh, it's nice punch anyway. I would have been able to just get the insane amount of damage from the Incinerate in as well, which would have been cool, but here as we see anyway, everything happened normally anyway because an Ice Punch is not going to knock out a Skeleturge, but a Thunder Punch will knock out an Annihilate, and we can move on to the next opponent. Annihilate kind of came back from the dead, which is kind of, I think, like I honestly, like, there is like some kind of big backstory behind like the Annihilate of like, I think the Primate was just like too angry that just died from it or some stuff like this. There's some kind of mad stuff or whatever around this Pokemon, but it's definitely back here. I could decide to swap out eventually as well, which I most likely should do as well here, but I decided to go for another Awkward Tail. Awkward Tail going to be able to connect, and we can swap out into the Typhlosion catch move while still sneaking in this Incinerate, which hopefully going to take the knockout. It does take the knockout, and they're going to go into a Snorlax. Everything is happy here. Like, Snorlax should be kind of fine for me. Again, Superpower Body Slam is going to be great for us to deal with. They decide to go ahead and use a shield here even. I don't get another Blast Burn by like 1 second there, which is fine. We're going to see here that the opponent can go for a charge. When it is the Earthquake, and this is going to kill the game. Like, there's nothing I can do anymore. Like, I had to hope that this was either the Superpower or the Body Slam. Earthquake just completely knocks me out. Like, there's nothing I can do here. Oh, let's take a look at the Florges coming in here. We can swap out straight away. We're going to get out that Feraligatr. This was also definitely one of the earlier battles, I think. We're going to be able to go for that Thunder Punch. This is going to hopefully do quite some damage, but it doesn't. It just barely does any damage. But I can still go for another one and force the shield from the opponent, which is kind of cool. And so I will definitely take this as the opponent goes for their next charge move. They're going to knock me out. Like, a Hydro Cannon should knock me out from this range. Would be weird if not, and yes, it does. And so we can go back into our Goodra. But like, this is a cool thing. Like, you can kind of always bait out the water type Pokemon with the Typhlosion, and this kind of makes it a great trap for Gyarados, which is kind of hilarious. Here, they can go for their charge moves. That's totally fine for me. I don't really give too much or care there for that Goodra. We will see them having still their Fairy type, and they're going to have in the back also the Annihilate. And that's going to be a great matchup. I make maybe a small misplay here by going for the Fairy type move instead of my Shadow Ball. Like, if the opponent gonna call this, they still have a very good chance of winning this battle. And let's see if they're gonna call. They decide to call this one, which is very smart. And so I can still go for another one. But yeah, they're still going to be in a spot where they can get rid of both of my shields, which is quite mad. And so we are forced to go for a shield here. I am forced to go for another shield afterwards as well. They can go for the Night Surge all they want. I can go for the full farm down at least. And this should be kinda alright. Shield coming up again. Night Surge gonna get shielded. And we will see the Florges coming back in here against a Pokemon that is only at like half of the health. But it doesn't really matter because Florges is only going to do resisted damage here while we do neutral damage, which is really important. Still can't believe that Florges is not a part grass type Pokemon. Like, honestly, like, why do you put a flower in this bag and whatever, and like everything is like around like flowers, and you make it just a pure fairy type Pokemon? I feel like that just doesn't really make too much sense in my opinion. But you know what makes sense here is just going for the Awkward Tail to knock them out and win this battle. Second to last battle for today, we're going to have an Ursaluna here in the lead. This is going to be a little bit of a tricky one because Ursaluna should be able to win this matchup. Ursaluna has access to the move Ice Punch, which is the recommended moveset on this Pokemon, like Ice Punch and like high horsepower plus tackle. And we will see here as well that they're going to go for that big Ice Punch. We won't be able to survive one for sure as well, and so I could just stay in here and just do my best, but also I could decide to swap out into a Typhlosion to catch an Ice Punch, which is insanely risky, but we will take it. Ice Punch is going to do barely any damage, and so we are going to be able to just go ahead and go for another charge move here against the opponent. That Blast Burn against that Goodra is still going to chunk quite a bit, which is cool. And let's see what the opponent's going to do here. They're most likely going to go for an Awkward Tail to knock me out. Very unlikely that they drop Awkward Tail. Like, Awkward Tail is just the cheapest move for this Pokemon. I think in Ursaluna's Muddy Water, which is paired as cheapest, but like, again, like, one is good, one is kind of garbage. I really hope that Muddy Water gets buffed eventually, because like in the main series against such a good move. But yeah, here we will see. The opponent gonna go for the Awkward Tail. I'm forced to swap out straight away. And can we get another clean sweep with a Gyarados? Let's find out. We're going to use a shield on the Awkward Tail. Let's see what they're going to have here. It's going to be the Ursaluna again. Can we go for the full farm down? We cannot. They can still go for another charge move, which is going to be the Ice Punch. And so let's see what's going to be in the back. Can we actually still come back from this? This would be absolutely wild. It is going to be that Goodra again, so they're going to be scared of me. What do you have in the back? Like, why are you scared? It's going to be the Metagross. And can we go for a full sweep again with our Gyarados here? As we're going to get the shield from the opponent, but we can go for another Shadow Ball in time to do some massive damage against them. And this should be fine here, right? We should win this battle. Maybe, but actually we don't, because I make a mistake. I should have mostly swapped out of here into my Goodra, trying to hope that I could farm them down in time, which I can't, and so they win with a 1 HP in a dream. final battle for today. So you survived until this point. Thanks so much for watching so far, and of course enjoy the final battle here as well, where we're going to have another Gyarados getting punched from the Thunder Punch, which is kind of hilarious. Again, even another one here coming through. But yeah, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate you still lurking around here at this point of time, as we gonna end up against another Gyarados here, which is going to knock me out. It's totally fine. I can swap back into the Goodra. Goodra's so cool because it's just like such a nice sponge for the meta. Like, it's like such a good bulky Pokemon where a Crunch is not going to do too much damage, but it's not bulky enough that it's like completely annoying, like Bastion, like a Toxapex, stuff like this. So like Goodra's like such a cool spot. I feel like it's definitely a Pokemon that has some potential while not being completely needed all the time as well. A Rock Slide here coming through from the opponent. They're going to have the Golisopod in the back. That's going to be quite tough, as Golisopod is going to have access to super effective coverage for our Scalarurge. And look at the switch clock, it's not even close to being up. And so even, yeah, if we can stall here, it doesn't really help us. We're going to let the liquidation go through, and we will be able to go for another charge move here with that Scalarurge going for the Disarming Voice, as we have only basically our Goodra. And my only play is to hope that I can go for the full farm down against them in order to still win this battle. And as you're going to see here, the opponent is going to be able to go for another charge move in time. It is going to be that Aerial Ace, and we can go for the full farm down, knock out that extra drill, and win the last battle. So, this could be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.